He's crazy like Jack Bauer. His name is Forrest Power. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, YouTube. So, I've been wanting to get this off my chest for a while now, but thought I'd better wait a week or two to let the dust settle on this particular craze. In the UK, my motherland, in recent weeks, a trend has gripped hold of TikTok where school children have been making accounts and publicly humiliating their teachers. In some cases, they've said some pretty horrendous things too. I likely don't need to fill you in with the specifics, I'm sure you can come to your own conclusions, but suffice to say that videos have been created calling out people on all manner of things from bad breath to being really inappropriate. So I think I've made this video to demonstrate the simple fact that teachers are human beings first and professional educators second. As a teacher, you're not really allowed to show emotion in the workplace. You've got to stand at the front and deal with 30 or so complex individuals, bubbling little vats of hormones that could combust at any time. And you've got to put on a mask, pretending that you are in fact invincible, unshakable, and are the cool, calm, collected centre of the universe. A lot of the time, this is simply not the case. Teachers are human beings just like anyone else, and I think really the point of this video today is to try and educate people that don't work in the schooling sector and show them that little bit of humanity that sometimes you don't get to show when you're in a classroom. I'll be the first person to admit that there have been times in my career where I've had pretty upsetting things happen in my personal life, but you've got to dust yourself down and put your mask on. Teachers are not allowed to break down in front of an audience when they're supposed to be in charge. It's just simply not the done thing. I remember pretty early on in my career, I broke up with a girl that I'd been with for the better part of 7 years and had to teach Romeo and Juliet for 2 hours the day after. And it's not as if you can refuse to do it either. I remember I did one lesson, cried for 10 minutes in the toilet at break time, and then returned with a tear-smudged face to do the second hour. No one ever knew about this naturally, but these are some of the emotional burdens that teachers carry around with them every day. Throughout my career, I've seen people deal with a whole host of personal issues. Family members passing away, sometimes slowly and painfully, and there are days when your mind is just a blocked up drain of personal issues. That's how human beings operate after all, but you're not allowed to show your humanity as a teacher. You are in fact supposed to be unbreakable. Imagine my surprise then to learn of this latest craze whereby students say these horrible things about teachers behind a veil of anonymity. Sure, kids have fun and will always act immaturely. That's part of growing up and something that I certainly did. But the internet is forever. Everything is on public digital display, and mud, no matter whether it's true or not, does stick. I read an article last week about a young teacher from the Midlands that hadn't been in work for 6 months due to online abuse. Likely, he's a guy with a family, children of his own maybe to feed, a wife to look in the eye, parents that have supported his pursuit of a job that does mean something in society, and within the space of a few short minutes, a kid that sits on the front row of his class decides to wreck his career by posting a hateful video online. And for what reason too? He probably told them to stop chewing gum, do their homework, or stop talking while the other 29 members of his class were trying to do their work. Doesn't sound so unreasonable when you put it like that, does it? There's a vulnerability about teachers in society today. We do more each year, and we should continue to do more each year to discuss the mental health of children in our schools. But I'd like students to consider the mental health of their teachers too sometimes. My mum worked in a college, and I went round to her house once to find her sobbing on the couch because of something that a kid had said to her. And you know what? I felt completely powerless in that moment. I couldn't do anything or say anything to make it better for her. And that's a really horrible feeling as a son, seeing his mum cry, as a human being. Now, I don't want to make out like I'm some kind of hero of putting on this mask every day, pretending that every aspect of my life is super, and then going teaching 25 hours a week. I'm not a hero, I'm just a guy doing a job, like maybe your mum and dad do on a daily basis. And you know what? I can put up with the sly playground comments about the bad breath, the goofy ears, and the harmless comments people no doubt make on a daily basis. But I don't think that teachers need to be immortally and permanently shamed online. Trust me, they don't pay us enough for that. I'm also not naive enough to think that there aren't teachers out there that are just plain bad at their jobs or make bad calls, unfair calls in classrooms every day of their lives. A lot of my friends always talk about some of the bad teachers that they had when they were young. But there are people that are bad at their jobs in every profession, and teaching is no different. It's very hard to be flawless for 5 hours a day when your every word is scrutinised and agonised over. At the end of the day, I think that sometimes school children miss the point that teachers are not a completely separate race of people. We are just human beings with a bit of an age gap and a bit more life experience. Cauldrons of emotion in the same way that adolescents are. So, who am I sending this message out to today? No one in particular, I guess. This is just my attempt at retaining my own humanity outside the constraints of a normal working day. Teaching sometimes handcuffs your natural personality and the way in which you would talk in everyday life. And I guess this is one of my means of escaping that. I would like to think though that this video will have an impact on someone. Even if one person listens to my ramblings here and opts to make a sensible choice tomorrow, I'd consider that a success. Any major success is always made up of millions of minor ones anyway. So if you are that guy that was poised to make a meme, a TikTok, or do something to humiliate a teacher, then I urge you, don't think of them as a teacher. Think of them as another human being. A human being that puts their socks on in the morning in the same way that your parents do. A human being that lightly carries silent struggles with them all day long. A human being that has spent years of training to reach the top of their chosen profession. Please do me a favour and have a rethink. Even amidst all the misery in the world, the violence, the suffering and the pain, I still hold on to the idea that human beings are inherently good and can show empathy to one another. You don't have to be over 18 to do something in an adult way. Take responsibility for your daily choices, own your life and promote benevolence. Be the guy that says something nice to your teachers. Be the guy that says something nice to your friends. It's only through positivity and lifting people up in society that we're ever going to improve things. Now, if you are sat there feeling guilty about something you said about a teacher, or anyone else for that matter, after listening to this video, don't feel too bad. Everyone messes up. That's part of being a human. But every breath you take, every day you face, every minute you're alive offers you a chance to become a better person by making better choices and influencing the world around you positively. I still believe in people, young and old. So there you have it. I've taken my mask off for this video and laid it all bare for you. But I feel it's important for people to see teachers for what we are ultimately, human beings. Thank you very much for watching this video. As always, drop a like if you have made it this far. Feel free to comment with your own thoughts on this latest TikTok craze, and subscribe for some equally thought-provoking and brutally honest gameplay commentaries in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Forest Power, I am a human being, and this has been Emotional.